For your flight training, we have integrated and modular programs, but which one is the best fit for you? Let's talk about it. Hello my friends, welcome back to Late Departure. I'm Adam, and as some of you may know, this is my continuing journey to hopefully becoming an airline pilot sometime in the future here. And as you can see, I'm back in beautiful Vancouver here in front of my favorite spot where it all began at the Vancouver International Airport just behind me with all the jets taking off. And I'm doing a little mini series here where I'm answering a bunch of questions that a lot of you guys have been asking me on Discord, things that have been filling up my inbox, and thought it might be a good idea to try to answer a bunch of these questions in separate little soundbite videos to hopefully help reduce a little bit of the congestion on the Discord server and just help more people who have these questions and are possibly Googling the answers to these questions. But one of the biggest questions, of course, that we come across is what is better, an integrated or modular program? And for those of you who don't know, various flight schools have different programs. Some of them are what we call modular programs, where you basically just go to the flight school and you can take whichever course, like a PPL or a CPL or instructor rating or a multi-rating or IFR rating, and you can do them kind of a la carte, like one at a time. Now, on the other hand, we have the integrated program, which is where you have your PPL, CPL, multi-IFR, instructor rating, like all the other stuff all bundled together. And typically these can be available at certain flight schools, but these can also be available, and more commonly available, as partnerships with colleges or universities, where actually right behind us here we have BCIT, and that's one of the places where they offer one of these integrated programs, where basically you not only get all the flight training, but you also take some courses. You can also potentially get a diploma in business management, or some of them tie in together with bachelor degrees as well, and things like that. And so I wanted to just talk a bit to the advantages and disadvantages of each, because a lot of people have been asking me about that, especially people are asking why didn't I choose the integrated program versus the modular program. And I did do research on both of them. So I talked with a bunch of people from various integrated programs, both ones at flight schools. I talked with people from the Okanagan, from BCIT, from all over the place, and just got a sense of what the integrated program was like. And then I weighed it against what the modular program was like from what I heard from other students. And so starting with the integrated program, the advantages of it are that it's all together. Everything is kind of all laid out for you, so you can just follow their roadmap and you can do everything step by step, stage by stage. And they do say that your flight training will be within a certain cost. And the only thing about that is they have kind of like an asterisk and some fine print below that says, however, if you exceed the standard cost, you have to pay for those hours yourself. So technically, it's not really, what you see is what you get in terms of price. You still have to consider that it might be more expensive than the price listed. But the nice thing is that they hold your hand, you have advisors, and if you don't have a degree, potentially you could get a degree while doing one of these programs. You could come out of this with a bachelor's degree or diploma or something like that, which might seem to be a good thing if you don't have a degree. And, if you look on some of the websites, like the Air Canada website, they do say that people who have a degree will have possibly a little bit more of an edge. However, they do clearly specify that in no way is it mandatory to have a degree or anything like that. It just helps, but it's not something that is absolutely required. Now, that being said, the disadvantages of the integrated program, the biggest one for me was the cost. The cost for a lot of these programs were a lot higher than the modular programs, and for the most part, you're paying for a lot of just like the university or the college to manage the program. So a lot of times these programs could cost anywhere between $20,000 to even $80,000 more than a modular program would. And for me, that just wasn't worth it. I already have degrees, first of all. But the second reason is that also from talking with students who have done integrated programs, the diplomas, especially people who did them before COVID, is that the diplomas were pretty much toilet paper. They were useless. A diploma or a bachelor's degree in airline management or something like that, for all the people that I talked with who got that, or people who got like the combined degree with business or something like that, for most of these people, they said it was absolutely useless. Like when COVID hit, some of them went back to doing flight instructing, while some of them wanted to actually make some more money. And so they looked for jobs, and all of them couldn't get jobs because they had useless degrees. Nobody wanted to hire people who had these degrees that basically meant nothing. Like their job experience was either flight instructing or maybe working for a few years in the airlines, but they hadn't had any office experience, no business experience, they had no business skills. And so for the most part, the integrated degree or the integrated diploma, it was just a waste of money. And what they could have done, and I've mentioned this a few times before in some of my videos, is that if they had just gone to BCIT, again right behind me here, or any other school and gotten a really useful degree in something like computer programming, or even like a trade, like for example being an electrician or a plumber or something like that, they could have made a lot of money. Whereas a lot of these people who got these diplomas, they ended up just getting jobs that were paying minimum wage. Like their diploma would get them a job maybe at Starbucks or something like that because they just couldn't get a job anywhere with that degree. So that's the big disadvantage of the integrated program, is honestly it's a lot of extra money just to get a diploma or a degree that may or may not help you when you get a job. Again, most of the airlines, if you're competing with someone else and someone else has 8,000 hours and you have 6,000 hours but you have a diploma, the people with 8,000 hours are obviously going to get the job, right? At least that's what all the pilots in the professional aviation community have been telling me. So that's just something to consider. Now, the modular program, we'll start with the disadvantage, which is kind of the opposite of the advantage of the integrated program, in that it's very self-motivated. And this can be hit or miss for a lot of people. For myself, as you've probably seen, I'm very self-motivated. You know, I need to do stuff, I get it done, I study hard, I work hard, and I set my own schedules and I set my own times, and I know what I need to do personally to stay on top of things and do well in my flight training. That being said, I have met a lot of people who do not have that, who need a little bit of a kick in the pants to get going, or they need a framework to stay organized. Now, in a modular program, ideally your flight instructor will help you stay organized and they'll help you be on schedule. However, that's not always the case. And that's one of the biggest variables at flight schools is flight instructors. You could go to one of the best schools in the world. If you have a flight instructor that's not well organized or just, is not really interested in instructing, you won't really have a good experience out of it. That's just the way it is. But for the modular program, that's the biggest disadvantage, is that first of all, it's separated, so you have to make your plans, you have to make your own timelines and get things going. But the biggest advantage of that is that if you can set your own schedule, and this is the other thing, like if you're in an integrated program and you're following the schedule and you're ahead of schedule, you get kind of dragged back by the schedule. It means that you won't be able to practice as much as maybe you think that you might have to, or get as much time in the plane as you might want to, because the schedule is a schedule, and they're trying to push this whole cohort of students through this program. Therefore, they don't always have planes available for you to just go out and grab whenever you want, right? So that is a disadvantage of the integrated program as well, and an advantage of the modular program. But the other thing with the modular program is cost. And for a lot of people, especially for something like training that costs sometimes upwards of $100,000, all in, everything included, that 10, 15,000, maybe even 20, 30, 40, 50,000, as high as 80,000 in some places that you might save by doing a modular program could actually make a huge difference for you. And for me, that made a big difference because, I had the money to do the integrated program, but the money that I saved by doing the modular program has helped me get a lot more practice in, also gave me some money to save, and all kinds of other things. It's never bad to have a little bit of money kicking around, right? So this is really one of the biggest things. And the other thing about the modular program is I was able to get through it at a speed that I was comfortable with. And this is, again, it can go both ways. Some people want to go a little faster, some people want to go a little slower. And an integrated program won't let you do that, whereas a modular program will let you set the schedule and let you do things at a pace you want to do. So for example, someone said to me the other day, I'm not as smart as you. I won't be able to do the written exam as quickly as you did or as well as you did or something like that. And I'm not a genius person or something like that. I just work really hard. And when I did my modular program, I actually had to take breaks from my flying anywhere between, a month to even more than a month, just sitting at home, hitting the books, morning till night, just driving myself crazy studying, but I had to do it. That's the way that I work. That's the way that I study. If I was in an integrated program, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So that's just something else that you need to consider. So modular has the flexibility and the price going for it, whereas the integrated has the structure and also kind of the motivation as well that might help you, as well as, again, like that degree, which, like I said, is not super useful, but you know, sometimes something is better than nothing. And if you have the money and you want to have that, you want that piece of paper, maybe if you do, why not? It's your choice, right? In any case, this is just from my experiences and my decisions and from all the people that I've talked with. Please take all this with a grain of salt. You can do what you want to do. And I'm sure there's not just one road to be successful in flight training. There's many different ways you can do it. But these are the biggest differences between the integrated and modular programs. I hope this helps some of you make a decision, and I'm going to post this on the Discord as well, so that hopefully I can link this to people, all the people who are asking me very regularly about whether they should do the modular or integrated programs. And yeah, I hope all of you do really well in your flight training. So thank you all again for joining me for my late departure here. I always love having you along for the journey. And hopefully if you guys are out flying, have fun. Enjoy a beautiful day when you can get it. Fly your best, fly safely. And remember, it's never too late. See you next time.